The moat at the front of the castle was filled by a stream called the Lepers stream. The Lepers stream flows across Emmett Street and into the moat, and it still flows there underground today. The Leper Hospital was here at the Magdalens, so I'm not sure how the Leper stream, which is on the other side of the town, got its name from the monastery here. This is in the Magdalens, and the Magdalens gets its name from Mary Magdalene, and this may be a figure of Mary Magdalene here. Leprosy was a horrible disease, and in the Middle Ages there was anything up to 50 hospitals for lepers throughout Ireland. One of the most famous, of course, is Leopardstown, where the races are held. The Leper Hospital at the Magdalens, the word Magdalene comes from Mary Magdalene and means sickly with eyes swollen with tears. It's associated with Saint Mary Magdalene, who was sorry for her past sinful life. Leprosy is a disease of the skin. It's a chronic skin disease. It reached Ireland about 550 AD, but the disease grew enormously during the Crusades. The Vikings also introduced the disease. There were a number of leper hospitals throughout Ireland. There was one at St. Stephen's Green, one at Duleek, at Drogheda, Kells and Ratoath. The leper hospital was a monastery for the sufferers of leprosy. Some considered that suffering from leprosy was the equivalent of going through purgatory on earth. Lepers were seen as being between life and death. In some cases, the lepers tolled a bell. Others carried a long white pole to keep everyone at a safe distance. Hence the term, "I wouldn't touch him with a 40-foot pole." The earliest reference to the leper hospital in Trim dates to 1335, and it seems it was associated with the chapel in Trim Castle. The ground plan of the Church of St. Mary Magdalene consists of a nave and a chancel with a chancel arch between them. In the chancel area there is a sculpture of a female figure that may well represent Mary Magdalene. In the 15th century, it ceased to function as a hospital and the property was taken over by the Franciscans. Later, the cemetery was used as a burial ground for the poor who died in the nearby workhouse. No gravestones were erected over these poor people. As recently as the 1960s, patients in the old county home were interred in the Magdalene Cemetery, and locals could vividly recall seeing these corpses being wheeled down in a harn cart. At a meeting of the Trim Urban District Council in 1968, the practice of wheeling corpses on trolleys was decried by Councillor Riley, supported by Councillor Doran. There are two old headstones in the cemetery belonging to parishioners. One belongs to John Flynn, who died in 1770, and another to Anne Kennedy, who died in 1757. In 1976, a local committee erected a bronze sculpture of Our Lady of Trim, and today this statue, with arms outstretched in greeting, welcomes all who visit the town. We don't have leprosy in Ireland now, or do we? In 2013, the first recorded case of leprosy in modern times was reported in Meath. A Brazilian man in his 30s walked into a GP clinic in Meath. Dr. Conor Gallagher said it was a case that one might have expected to encounter in the Middle Ages, not in a busy surgery in County Meath. The man, who had been working in Ireland for a number of years, suffered a reoccurrence of the disease that he had contracted in his home country 10 years earlier. A second Irish case of leprosy was notified a few months later. While leprosy has been eliminated in Ireland, An Irish scientist, Vincent C. Brady, came up with a vaccine against leprosy in the 1950s. He was working at Trinity College trying to find a cure for tuberculosis, and instead he came up with a cure for leprosy instead. Barry was a native of Sunday's Well in Cork City, is credited with the development of the compound used in drugs that have helped to cure about 15 million people.